Hello. Hello, and welcome to another edition of Cooking for One. My name is Brian. Today on the show, we're going to be making French press coffee. Hello. Hello, and welcome to Cooking for One. My name is Brian. Today on the show, we're going to be making French press coffee. French press coffee has become wildly popular with the Europeans. It's also become quite popular with the United States of America. So join me today and we'll get started. Here are some of the items that you will need. You will need coffee. In this case, we have two kinds. We have the exotic Sumatra, which is a medium roast with heavy body and earthy flavor. And we have Don Quixote of Costa Rica from the roastery. But it is almost empty, so we will not use that. You will also need a French press. This one is very affordable and can be picked up at a lot of your retail store locations. You will also need a kettle for boiling the water. If you buy the bean coffee, you will need a coffee grinder to grind the beans into coffee. Some coffee cups, and a pitcher if you'd like. This is always classy with the ladies as you are cooking for one. A spoon and sugar if you prefer. So let's get started. Take your pitcher and fill it about this full with water. That would be about 10 ounces. Sometimes you can tell how full it is by the weight. If you can't, sometimes you can look into the hole. That looks like plenty of water. Let's head to the stove. Place the kettle on the smallest burner, like that. Figure out which knob controls this burner, this one, and turn it up to high because we want the water heated up as fast as possible. Meanwhile, while we let the water boil, we will go get the French press ready for pouring in the hot water. We'll let this boil. Have your coffee grinder in one hand and your coffee in the other. Now the coffee grinder as a cord, which we will plug in to this outlet back here. Be careful that you're not standing in water and that your hands are dry, as there is a risk of electrocution. Now take the top of the coffee grinder off. And pour in about 3 tablespoons or 4 tablespoons of coffee. If you're a nervous Nelly, you can get a tablespoon and measure it. But as we are cooking for one, no one will taste the coffee but us, so it doesn't really matter how strong it is. And since it's French press coffee, it will always taste better than other coffee anyway. So we'll pour the coffee in. That's about right. And then we replace the top on, which has a button that we will depress. Okay, we are ready to begin grinding the coffee. The coffee looks ground. Let's go to the press. Take the top off the French press, like such, and then take your coffee grinder and pour the coffee into the press. That looks good. Now you are ready for the hot water, which should be boiling in just a moment from the stove. We will know the water is ready because we will hear a loud whistling. And if you don't pay attention, the whistling will continue until you hear it. So don't worry. You might get a call from the neighbors, but that's alright. They're just telling you that your coffee water is boiled. So let's wait for the coffee water to be boiling. And now at the stove we can hear the whistling, so we know the water is boiling and ready for the French press. Turn off the stove, and we're ready to take the water to the French press. Okay. Take your pitcher and pour the water into the French press. Okay, that's about enough water. Now, sometimes if you like, you can take the spoon and stir up the coffee a little bit so it evenly distributes through the water. Now we just need to let this coffee steep in the French press for about 5 minutes. After about 5 minutes it will be ready for us to enjoy. So let's wait. All right, it's been 5 minutes, so the coffee should be ready now. take the top of the French press and put it carefully onto the French press. There is a notch here that lines up with the handle, so if you line the handle up, you're ready to go. Depress the plunger and you're ready to pour the coffee. Now if you're like me, I like to leave just a little bit of room for cream, or half and half. And then take some sugar maybe 1 or 2 teaspoons, and it's ready to enjoy. That is good French press coffee. Well, we hope that you've enjoyed cooking for one. My name is Brian. Next time on the show, perhaps we will try something out of the kitchen, like making a bed or cleaning the floor. Until then, thank you for watching, and we'll see you then. Goodbye.